Vinyl label sticker application. When installing vinyl signs to a substrate such as glass, metal, plastic or composite panel, it is important to clean the surface that the sign will be applied to. This is commonly done with cleaning solutions that do not leave a residue, as the residue may react with the adhesive on the vinyl and cause it not to stick. Some examples are water, 30% methylated spirits diluted with water, isopropyl alcohol or thinners. Make sure the cleaning agent will not harm the substrate before applying it. Once you have cleaned the surface, you'll need to place the sign roughly in position by eye or measure from a level surface. When in position, place a piece of masking tape in the vertical position in the center of the label. Peel one side of the label off the backing paper and cut away the backing paper with scissors, leaving a clean, straight cut. This example is with a digital print, in which case we use a soft squeegee applicator, something firmish with a soft outside. For example, a cloth around a firm object, the dimensions of a credit card but thicker, to apply the sticker label. Firmly apply the sticker with smooth strokes of the squeegee out to the side edges to avoid getting bubbles under the vinyl. Then remove the backing paper on the other side of the label and repeat the application. If any bubbles are left under the vinyl, prick them with a pin and release the air by pushing the air towards the pinhole with your fingertip. Do not clean digital prints with harsh cleaners, as they will react with the ink. With straight vinyl letters, the installation is similar. It just requires the use of a harder squeegee applicator. For example, a piece of wood or plastic covered with cloth, and the removal of the transfer tape after the application process. Be very careful when removing tape, as the vinyl will not adhere fully for 24 to 72 hours and may lift when pulled with transfer tape. Vinyl should not be installed under 10 degrees Celsius surface temperatures, as the vinyl will not adhere properly to the substrate. Double-sided tape installation. We would only recommend this application for lightweight product, not metal. It is important to get the correct double-sided tape. Some tapes will adhere only to fall off when the weather changes. Good sticking double-sided tape will actually pull off the plaster if the sign is pulled off, but will provide long-term adherence. If you're not familiar with the various types of double-sided tape, we can sell you a roll for around $15 plus GST for a 50 meters by 50 millimeter roll. Or alternatively, we can add strips of tape to the back of your sign for a couple of dollars per sign, depending on the size. Liquid nails installation. Liquid nails can be used on metal signs for interior or exterior use. First, apply double-sided tape to the back of the sign and also use the required amount of liquid nails. The double-sided tape will hold the sign in place short-term until the liquid nail sets. Liquid nails should not be used on poly signs, as it will warp the sign as the chemical will react to the substrate. When installing rigid, non-adhesive signs, you'll need to determine what type of fixing you will need for the area the sign is to be installed to. For example, is it being installed to a brick wall, a plaster wall, metal substrate, or a fence? The appropriate fixing will ensure that the sign will last in its location. In the case of a brick wall, you'll need to hold the sign in position, measuring it out to make sure it will be level and at the right viewing height. Mark the wall through the holes on the corner of the sign to mark the position of the wall mounts. Take the sign away and drill out the holes in the brick using a masonry drill bit in a hammer drill. Make sure you only drill deep enough to accommodate the fixing you'll be using. This is done by marking your drill bit at the required depth. Drill out all 4 holes and fit the plastic plugs into the holes. Then hold the sign up to the holes and screw in fixing screws. When installing to a plaster wall, the exercise is the same, except you'll be using wall mates, which have a thread on the plug that goes into the wall. You'll need to drill an undersized hole for the wall mate so that it's a firm fit. Make sure there is no electrical wiring behind the wall you are drilling into. Hold the sign up into position and screw it into the wall mates. When installing into metal, a self-tapping metal screw is required. This can be screwed directly through the sign into the substrate. Again, making sure you have the right size fixing. When installing into wood, you'll need to pre-drill the hole with a smaller drill bit to avoid splitting the fibres in the timber. Then screw in through the sign into the timber using a wood screw. Most signs to be installed to industrial fencing can be done with cable ties, making sure they are fastened properly to avoid coming off in windy conditions.